Alright, the next add-on is uh, Vince Builds. Vince Builds is this icon here. You can hold down Control and click on it, drag it around and move it. Right clicking it opens up your options. Left clicking it will let you click on any of these buttons. So when you're out of combat, you can actually switch any of your gear and your costume and your LAS build and your action set builder. So right now, let's see, I'm DPS, so I switch to heals. Switches my gear and my LAS and my action set. So my action set's this here, down here, which is mainly going to be attached to the most important thing will be is it's changing your amps. So it's on action set 1 when I'm on that one, and you'll be able to instantly, when out of combat, even in a PvP instance, you'll be able to switch from your healing to DPS. It switches all your amps for you, switches all your abilities, switches how your abilities are put in, how your build is made, and then it also switches all your gear up for you. The way to use this though, and this is the thing that frustrated me with this add-on at first, is I didn't understand how it worked so well. So you right click it, opens up your options. You have to click on this, make a name, and then this is your LAS. Take note of that, it's your LAS name. Then you click on equipment, then you're going to want to have the same name for that. And then you have to save it both times. So let's say you want to make changes to your DPS builder. Let's say you want to make a new one. Let's just do this. We'll hit new, click on save, click on equipment, click on the new, make a new one, click on save. Okay, now you can change the costume, save. Okay, now it always puts it up here, so if you want to make changes to new, make sure you click on it, make your changes, then click on save. That's for your LAS, which your LAS is also linked to your amps, so make sure your action set's proper. And then click on save, and then go to your LAS, click on this, make sure you click on your costume. You're going to be clicking on save a lot, and then make sure your LAS and everything's perfect and hit save. It's kind of confusing at first, but after you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to use. And that's that one. That one's invaluable, especially if you want to be a DPS. And oh, I got a little bug going on here. This is my macro for reload UI. Might as well go over that really quick. So macros, if you click on this button down here, it actually lists a lot of the add-ons and stuff. There's a macro one. You click on that. Also note that you can click on any of these little pin buttons or click on them again. They'll add it down to your bar down here. So if you want to add macros, you click on that little pin. If you want to get rid of it, see how it disappears. There's your macro, and depending on what order, see how it moved it from over here to over here. It'll either remove it or put it up, and then it'll put it in a certain order over on this side. So if you want to make a macro, let's say, click on your macro or go to it. I have a macro that's /reload UI, so I can click on it at any time. I don't have to type it. I have a bunch of things that are like channels, like when I'm in a battleground. Just click on this, click on edit. You can name it here, and then /I for instance, and then everyone stack middle regroup. And I just, anytime I need to type that, instead of typing it out, I hit this macro down here. Click on this up here, or right click on that, and you can go through all these different icons. Click on one, then click OK, and then that'll set it as whatever icon. You can apply it to all characters too. I got a bunch of different macros I have. They're mainly for chat stuff, spamming out, like helping people out with stuff like this one here is, you know, don't forget to get the PvP consumables, blah blah blah. You can spam for that, or if you want to organize events, for instance, here's one trying to get people to do more arenas, /zone whenever I'm in a PvP instance, I just hit this button once, and then it just goes to the zone and it says all this stuff. So it's a good way to organize, it's a good way to not have to retype things out over and over. And I believe you can also use it to use like potions at the same time or gadgets at the same time and put them all in one button or something like that. I personally don't use it that way, but you can do it that way. Alright, and the next one is Rune Master, which I don't see over here, but it's always in this one somewhere. Let's see. Rune Master, right here. It's also, you can pin it to your, whatever this thing is called down here. Click on that, and you can edit your runes with that by clicking on things. You can click on different subheadings, look through all the different runes, mouse over them. Awesome rune crafting thing. Then after you pick your runes, you can click on craft and rune, and it'll tell you all the stuff that you need to build those runes. Highly recommended. It's really good for picking out what runes you want to use and trying to do some min-maxing and theory crafting type stuff. Then last but not least, color picker. There's no space. Type / color picker to make it open. Like I said, this one opens up whenever you're using OptiPlates or perspective, which makes it really easy to change the colors for stuff. It gives you the code here, you can copy that. It might also work with other add-ons that I'm not aware of. I know a lot of people use Forge UI. I don't use that personally, but that's another good one. So check that one out. But if you got Curse, you can check out any add-on by searching the add-on database for that. It's a good idea to, check out add-ons and figure out which ones you want to use. Alright, this next segment we're going to go into the UI setup. So just like the add-ons, you hit escape until your menu comes up. And then the first add-on we're going to go over with is going to be your add-on one. So this one you can search through your add-ons. You can sort them by clicking on these things. You can enable out-of-date ones by clicking on that box. You can reload your UI by clicking on that down here. You can restore the defaults, and pretty much all self-explanatory. We also have the combat section here, which you can click on boxes for the telegraphs you want displayed. That's my settings here. If you want to copy mine at any time, pause the video and you can copy mine. You can have multiple different settings. There's some default, custom settings 1, 2, these different ones you can try out. Personally, I like the ones that I have here, but if you click on these, you can, this is not color picker, this is default. You can go into here, you can adjust the colors by clicking over here and sliding that, and clicking over here and sliding that. You can change the opacity of the outline and the inside fill. So my reasoning behind this, the way I make mine, I can see the white one really well. I can see the gray one, and that just tells me that's a healer. Red for enemy DPS, NPC, a little different. NPC harmful, a little different. My allies, I like to have it green because then I can see what telegraphs I want to stand in versus the ones I want to get out of. So if I need to dash or sprint out of the way quickly or move in a direction that helps me avoid those telegraphs and stay alive longer, again, it's the difference between 100% mitigation of damage or 0% ally harmful. I make this one yellow so it's easier for me to see my ally DPS. So if I'm on my DPS, I want to see who they're aiming at, and then I can also get on that same enemy that they're trying to kill and try to get everybody on the same one. I can also see if my teammates are not getting on the same guy, so I can say, hey guys, let's try to get our DPS aligned and focus somebody and kill them. And then harmless is black, so I don't see that very well. Sometimes black is a lot easier to see though. Depends on what the background is. The next one is controls, and this is the automatic mouse look beta. You can click on these if you don't like holding on that right click and your right click finger gets fatigued. You can click whichever ones of those that you like to use. Double tap to dash. I like to be able to directional dash and double tap to dash because I use pretty much basic default keybinds, except for a few things I changed, which I'll cover later in the video. As far as controls goes, let's see. Hold down to continuously cast. This one here, I like to have that one clicked because then you can just hold a button instead of spam a button. Your mouse turn speed, that's also personal, you know, like this is how fast I like mine to be. Sometimes I switch to keyboard turning to help myself align better and lead my target slightly, which is very helpful as well. Then we go to sound. Obviously that's just a preference. I don't like to have the music volume playing that much, although the game has fantastic music arrangements in it. I'm a musician myself and there's really good music in the game. Video options, I recommend using lower options if you can, just because if the lower the options are, the less chance your computer's going to have an issue with running them. I can personally run them on the max graphics and everything, but I just prefer to have it lower. Chat options. Now this is for when you're just solo queuing, going in and playing by yourself in Battlegrounds. It's kind of, what I've done is I've made my font medium because I've also made my UI smaller. So I made you can make your font huge if you want, so you can see it better. I've taken out the no role playing stuff, so that stuff doesn't get in the way. I have the profanity filter shut off because I like to see people swearing. Timestamp is on because I want to be able to see when somebody types something in a solo queue battleground. Somebody might be calling out, oh, somebody's coming to this place or that place, so you want to have reference of time. The rest of them are pretty much just preferences on that. Also, another chat option. So I have these chat. This is my chat window here. I have combat. These are different tabs. Combat tab. I like to have one just for loot. And then if you click on this little wrench thing, I shut off everything in this channel. These little boxes you can click to turn them on and off. I just have loot enabled in this one.